Hey guys, John here, Mr. Forex Fire. So we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping before we start this session off. It's just after 10 to 8 this morning. It's June the 7th. Just going to share the screen. And we're going to take a little look on the previous day. And got the fire one out here. Let's have a look. So you can see on here, this was that low from the previous day of that 15-minute swing. Okay, we had the 15-minute swing high, 15-minute swing low. Okay, and this was a winning trade, but we didn't get into it. This is the one that we won on. No, this was the winning trade, sorry. This was the one later on the night, and this one also won, but I only entered on one yesterday. Okay, but you'll see here, I marked up a couple of bits of imbalance. This one was fully mitigated. This one was only half mitigated, but look where price is now. It's coming back into this area and it's reacting from it again. Look, so fantastic stuff. So what I've done this morning, I'm going back to my old school way where I did a 1 minute scalper and I was looking at the swing points on the 15 minutes previous to the session of the window I was given. And I did this over a year ago. However, the ICT bullet or whatever it is he's calling it, it's very, very similar to what I was doing over a year ago, albeit he's trading from the FVG. I was going from more or less an order block. So I was going from like a tighter area, if that makes sense. And it came with around about a 30-odd% growth over the span of a month or 2 months, I think it was. So I'm doing this as a comparison to see how good mine comes out, how good mine had came out towards what his is coming out. And I'm using exactly the same asset, which is the EURUSD. So again, I've gone for the 15 minutes. You can see 15 minute up here. I've got the swing high and we've got a swing low here. And as we look at this, we can see, like I say, the fair value gap, it's coming right into place. So we'll see what happens with this. We'll go into the 1 minute. This here, I'll try and keep the video short and sweet today. I don't want to go any more than 20 minutes. I'm trying to keep it, like I say, showing you just before the window open, and then I'm going to show you the confirmation candle, the fair value gap and how it works, and then I'm going to leave it and let it do its overlay, try and do a directional bias with it, but at the same time walk you through it at the end when it's played out, whether it's a win or whether it's a loss. And we're only going for a 1-to-1. We don't stop halfway. We don't take partials. We just do simply 1-to-1. Okay. This here, as we're making, coming in from higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, moving into the window and the time frame, we're possibly going to make a higher high. So we may start off here, and the trend at the moment, even if I go into 15 minutes, the trend at the moment and the sentiment is pretty much a downtrend, because as we come in, we've got like a lower low, lower high. This is a lower low from here, lower high. The next sort of formation we'd be looking at is a lower low. So this technically should come below these here. Okay. However, if we get a pullback into this where this range is pushing, because we've got a push phase, inducement, push phase, and we start getting a pullback into here and we fail to take this lower low, there could be a start of a change of sentiment. Okay, so if I go on to what I'm looking at on here at the moment, the currency strength, the euro is weaker than the USD. So in reality, what we're looking at, we should be looking for price to come lower, to be fair. Okay. So like I say, you've got lower, high, lower, high. This is push phase from an inducement coming down. It should be targeting this low. If it doesn't, and it comes back into this order block sort of thing, and then comes back down and it breaks into this structure, then it does become a low. If we fail to break a structure low here and we come back up, we sweep the liquidity here, but then we also attack up on here. Okay. There's a change of sentiment. There's a market shift, structure shift in MSS, a market structure shift, and it'll be a change of character. Okay. However, pip wise, towards that 15-minute swing, it's 12 pips. Towards the 15-minute high swing on the actual push fears, it's around about 30 pips. Will we actually get this? Possibly not within the time allowance that we do. We're looking at the news. Any red folder news, we're not supposed to trade these. I do believe. Again, if you're watching this and you're watching the replay, let me know. Later on today, 3 o'clock, it's CAD news. So it looks as if we're pretty good on that front. News today, there is a speech on the euro, to be fair, so I don't know whether that would affect this or not. I'm going to go with it because that's in an hour. It's more or less the back end of my time allowance window, to be fair. But that's it. We're all set up with 3 minutes to the hour. I'm going to drop it back down to the 1 minute. Let's open up our field of vision. And what you're seeing here, obviously, is a downtrend. This is a fair value gap. Whenever anything is like engulfing, on a bullish engulfing, we'd be green. And we'll be looking for the green parallel lines for the fair value gap. If it's red and it's engulfing, that's a bearish engulfing. So we'll be looking for the parallel lines like this, okay? So it's 1 minute to go before the session starts. I'll pause the video. I'll come back on in a second as the candle forms. I'll be 2 seconds, guys. All right, so here we go, guys. This is what got me the other day. This is what sort of stumped me on my first day of doing this. As soon as we come into the open on the 8 o'clock, we start getting immediately an engulfing. So what I'm going to do, this is obviously going to leave behind that fair value gap here. I'm not going to touch that on the open. I'm going to let obviously the first part play out. I got my fingers burnt last time with this. So as we go into the open, we're obviously going to get an engulfing candle, to be fair. So price is now going to want to shift about. And what we would be expecting is a price to come in. In fact, it didn't turn green, this candle. So that's all right. We've got to be within the window. And you see how the candle has now swallowed up that fair value gap. And it's mitigated into the price action itself. So, yes, I think it was 2 days ago, sorry. I was too quick to get in on something. I mean, today it hasn't shown as a confirmation candle. So that's a good thing, to be fair. Let's just take a look. I'm just going to let the price play a bit. Excuse me. What's going on with my computer? It just keep clicking off today for some strange reason. Right, let's take a look. Just bear with me, guys. I'm just going back up to the bigger time frame because I want to bring this back into play. So this is what I like to use as my pointy stick. Go back down to the 1 minute. And just make this bigger. There we are. Right, so his price is coming in. His price is coming in. It's been in very much a consolidatory phase on here, as you can see. And I just want to take an interest of this swing point here down to where it's been. It's 6 pip. It's like a 6 pip range from what, half 7. So generally what we will do within this window that you're seeing now, okay, we should get some sort of volatility or some sort of volume in the move. And it looks as if we might get it on this candle if this continues to push up. It may be on this candle. Let's just take a look. And again, guys, if you're watching this and you've used this system or this indicator, which is the silver bullet, let me know if I should be waiting for the 15-minute high taken or the 15-minute lower swing point. I can more or less see position-wise that this is going to be an engulfing candle. And engulfing just means it completely takes price of the candle here. So I'm going to do a trade buy limit. For some reason, I'm going to miss this because my pepperstone is not connecting up. Connect. Improve access. Right. Trade buy 10, 10, 1%. Right, so I've got the trade set there. I nearly missed it. I've now got move the trade up to here. And again, you've got to be quick with this because you've got to move with. You've got to be able to move with the price, to be fair. So that's activated. Now we're in the position and we only want the one position, if that makes sense. We don't want to be entering anymore. So this is the trade for the session this morning. This is the confirmation candle. This has been pretty quick, to be fair. It is what it is. Going to see what it does when it plays out. I'll pause the video. We'll be back in a short while. Again, I'm finding personally on a morning that these are harder to play out. On an afternoon in the New York session, they're fantastic. Whereas when I used this method back in 2022 in January, and the order blocks I was using, I found the morning session was better rather than the US. But we'll see what we get. Before we go any further, though, I'm going to go into the MyFX book and sign in the portfolio. I'll not go over these ones, the other ones. These are all in profit at the moment. These are my own personal strategy, my own personal method that I use. But this is the ICT bullet one that I'm doing. I was 3% down from the other day. This was due to my own fault. I got a win yesterday, so I got 1% back. So I clawed back that 3% down to a -2. If we get a winner on this today, we'll take it to a -1, and then I just close it off for the morning session, and then I go into the New York session and I trade between 3 and 4, and we'll see what the outcome of that is like. So the purpose of doing this is just having a full transparent data log and back test, and I'm going to be doing this over the course of 100 trades. Okay, so as we're seeing on here, the price at the moment, it's the engulfing candle. We're coming in to mitigate into the imbalance bit. We've left a little bit of a swing high here, so I want to see, and it's still early days on this trade, I want to see price push a little bit further up. Before I look a little bit further, I just want to see how the currency strength is. USD is starting to wane a bit. The euro is getting a little bit stronger, so it's working in our favor a bit. But just going to the euro USD on here. This is on the MT4 euro USD. Yeah, they're pretty much side by side. So this is coming in, and we fully expect it to mitigate either partial of the FVG, or it's going to fully break through. If it fully breaks through, I don't like to see that instantly, if I'm honest, because it'll generally mean it's going to come through and start taking out these areas here. This purple zone is yesterday's FVG prior or into the session start. So there's around about a pip of imbalance or fair value gap still left to fill on here. It might be a case it wants to come down and mitigate into this. Hopefully it'll hold structure-wise, and then it might react and bounce off. Again, from that, I'm just looking at these. Do you want to get rid of that? That was yesterday's 15 minutes. This is the 15-minute low. So, like I said on yesterday's video as well, I think we may be worth waiting for the swing points. The swing points to be mitigated. And as you can see on here, we've now got a confirmation candle for the bearish move. So we'll try to wait and see if I get hit out. It might be something that I factor in on my plan in the procedure where I'm waiting for these mitigations out of these zones before getting in. What I'll do is I'll pause the video, I'll be back in a short while, see what the outcome is. I think I know where this is going to head. I think it's just going to smash me out more or less straight away. But we'll see. I'll be back in a short while, guys. Yeah, so unfortunately, it has went and pushed me out. Again, I'm going to stay on this video, okay? We're going to stay on the video because I'm just going to go over, this here is where the 15-minute was, okay? So if I just thicken this up, I'm just going to sort of put price action. So what we'll do is we'll use that as a lesson. I'll close that off. And what we'll do is I'll just put a big X next to that. Make it black. That's a big X. I just want to sort of go with the flow of price. And I'm going to make this a little bit high because I want to try and understand why this is happening. So we've got a swing high, a swing low. We've got a break of structure coming in, okay? What I want to look at is see if we can get an understanding on this. Is this going to push back up into here to start attacking that high side? Let's just say we do get, because this is a pretty big engulfing move out of this altogether, to be fair. Like I say, what we've got here, we've got where the imbalance is on this part. There's an imbalance here. This is between the 5-0 and the 3-2. So this will be interesting to see. And I'm going a little bit more in depth with my own trading skills and analysis, to be fair. I just want to see if we can come back into mitigate into this area. It's an area of interest for me, to be fair. Let's just see if we get that break. And what I'll do is, I'll not enter any more trades on here, but I'll certainly mark up another long or a short, depending on what I see. We'll just see what would have happened if I'd waited that little bit longer. I think we should have waited for the mitigation out of this area, to be fair, because I said earlier on in the video, the start of the video, I was expecting to push out of this, and I think I should have waited, to be fair. I'll just pause the video. We'll be back in a short while. Well, as we can see, guys, what I'd marked out, it looks as if it's starting to come in play. I think that sweep should have been what we waited for. After all, the ICT methods is based upon sweeps and things like that. So this had came in before there was any sweep of price. So again, it's a learning curve. I just want to see if this structure thing here holds. I want to see if this liquidity here is taken. I should have listened to myself this morning because I did see it. It is just basically on a downward trend. So I was trying to go against the trend, getting in on this one in hindsight. So like I said, I'm not here to be perfect. I'm not here to show massive amounts of profits. I'm not here to say, look at this, come and join what I'm doing. I'm here to forward test a system which I'm interested in, but at the same time, hopefully try and not so much educate, but maybe give you guys a few little insightful looks at how I look at price action. And then I can go back and look at the stuff what I've done right or the stuff that I've done wrong and how it's played. That is the That is the purpose of doing these vlogs. Okay. There's too many things out there where you're watching it and it's always win, 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 win. You learn so much more from your failures than what you do from your wins. And I'll say that again. You'll learn so much more from your failures than what you do from your wins. And it's being able to be humble enough to accept that. And more so, especially when you're on camera, and take a look at it, but then stay on the camera, which is what I'm doing now, and try and reevaluate the situation and see what comes of it, and then follow the price action, So we'll go back on the screen. And again, we are moving nicely now through the price action after the sweep here. So what I'll do, because the price action and the flow is coming in now, like I see, I don't want to have this video on for too long. I'll pause it. I'll let it play out a bit more. And if I do see, yeah, a confirmation candle come to the high side, which it looks as if this may actually do it. This one might turn green because it's engulfing through the price action and liquidity here. We've got 3 seconds. Is it going to do that? Didn't quite turn green, no. We'll wait for the next one. I'll pause the video. I'll be back just as it's running down in its seconds, guys. Okay. Right. So this will be interesting, guys, because there's a fair value gap left here. Okay. And we did say we were bias short, but I did get in stupidly. Like I say, we live and learn, but we're just going to see what would happen if we would have taken this short. Okay, let's just see what would have happened on this. I mean, I know I said I was waiting for an engulfing coming up to the buy, but I forgot all about this bearish engulfing. I think this might have been the play, to be fair, but we'll see. It's nicely in profit at the moment. It's touched into it. Like I see, it's a 1-to-1. You can see that. But if I do see an engulfing confirmation on here, like I said, I was thinking expect to play out like this, then I possibly would have taken the buy, to be fair. But as it stands, the confirmation candle that is in play at the moment is this one here. Let's just see how it holds. Excuse me. See, I'll pause the video. Be back in a short while. Take a look at this, guys. So it looks as if what I was drawing out here, it's playing beautifully. Yeah, we had the confirmation of the bearish here, and like I say, we're just overlaying this to see if it was going to follow that. But overall, the pattern that I did after the sweep, I did see I would expect this sort of move out. It's starting to play like that beautifully. So I think waiting for these sweeps is the better option, if that makes sense. Now, look at this, where this imbalance is here, the red, you've now got an imbalance within an imbalance. This turned green. So again, will this actually reach? Will this actually reach? Or more importantly, will this actually give an engulfing candle confirmation? We shall see. We shall see. So there was a little bit of a fair value gap left behind here. This is why this is red. The parallel lines, it's coming up into mitigate into this. And here comes the push. The 15-minute low to the 15-minute high will come back into the range of that. Is it now going to come and attack this 15-minute high? It looks to be the way. I mean, this most certainly is playing out nicely from what I marked after the sweep, So I suppose it is what it is. Like I said, I'll pause the video because I don't want to make this too long. I'll come back in a short while and we'll see how it's playing. Right, so guys, as we've come down, okay, we've done the sweep. We lost on this, obviously. I did mark this up to say that I was expecting price to possibly push up now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close this off because I've got no interest in that at the moment. I'm just interested in what the bias was after the sweep. We can see on here as I try to give an understanding on market structure. You can see on here, there's been a sweep on this liquidity, on this swing. So we've got a high, low, lower high, lower, lower, lower high, lower, lower, lower high. Didn't quite get a lower low. We come up to break structure here. Okay, we broke a structure point there, but when we look, we get the wand. When we look at where this came to, look where it went and mitigated into. There was an imbalance. Okay, we had him push out of price here. And I'm just trying to get an understanding on price. Now, normally when you get these engulfer moves out, okay, and you get like breaker structures, especially when it's just like a pressure cell like this, when we look at an imbalance point, we've got an imbalance point there. Look at this, it's mitigated into that imbalance point right there. So again, this has turned out to be from a 1 minute scalp session into a little bit of a lesson into understanding market structure, let's just say. So again, we've got the fire wand. We've broke out of this. We've come in, mitigated into that small imbalance. We've got a reaction from that. Now, will this do a continuation trend down, which is what's been happening throughout this? Or will we get another market shift, a market structure shift, which is if we come above this here and mitigate above it where I've got the arrow, okay, then what we would be anticipating is push up, maybe a reaction point from coming back in, and then a sweep on the 15-minute high previous. Okay, well, we're going to see if this is where this is going to target to. At the moment, it's not quite mitigating into the structure of this. We're going to see we'll get the push. It's like a brick wall. It's wanting to force its way through. At the minute, we're just double topping, and it's great. Oh dear. It's great to watch price action. There's a breakthrough. The wick, it's wicked through, but still. Look at this. It hasn't mitigated through that fully. Okay. And my computer's going to keep doing this, unfortunately. So it's took a reaction from the imbalance, and now it's reacting in a sell-off. Okay. We do have imbalance here. Okay. We do have imbalance here. So it might want to come down, touch into this because it took a market structure high. Might come down, mitigate into this, and then it might go back to attack this. If this comes down and pushes through this and pushes through this, then I do believe it's going to be a continuation trend down. But at the moment, it looks as if it wants to push through the imbalance. This is where we push through it, fully mitigates. We may get that reaction, bounce off, and then a take on the 15-minute high. There's the push through. There's the push through. Let's just take a look. As my phone goes a little bit daft, as it always does this time in the morning. We've now got a new imbalance area. You see on here, look, it's going to, it might not even go and take, might not even bounce off here. It might just go straight for that 15-minute high. It looks as if it wants to search and destroy that. Pip-wise, it's around about 2 pips off doing that. Are we going to get that? Are we going to get the mitigation through this? There's 20 seconds before the start of a new candle. Again, marking an imbalance area. We've got an imbalance here. And look where I marked this out. Okay. You can, like I say, you kind of make this stuff up. It may mitigate through that imbalance bullish area, and then it might get a reaction and bounce up off. So again, like I say, I'm marking this in front of you. It's just a shame It's a shame I missed out on this today. And like I say, I'm sorry about my computer playing up like this. It is what it is, I suppose. So 46 seconds on this candle. Like I say, bullish fair value gap again. It's now wanting to push further up. I did say we were about, from the point it's at now, we're about 3 pips away from the top. 3 pips to work with as we're going to push through this. I'm trying to turn this from a loss today into a bit more of an educational sort of watch the price action flow lesson today. Like I say, we can put a positive on top of a negative, to be fair. I'm going to pause the video. I'm just going to see what happens with this price action, see if we're actually going to get the take at the 15-minute high previous to the entry of the time allowance window. It already swept the low of the 15. I do want to see if this will, it's actually, the formation is actually played out to the T of what I've drawn out. You know, I mean, and I drew this pattern out well before it was starting, after we had the take and the sweep and the SL hit on this. Okay, so again, I do believe we're going to come down, mitigate into this area, and then we might get the bounce up. I'll pause the video. I'll be back in a short while. Look at this, guys. Like I said, we can't make it up. I was expecting price to come back down, bounce into this. We've now got, from a liquidity side of things, a double top action happening. Let's say we get a take on that. From that double top, this might just be it starting to feel now, to be fair. We're on about 2 pips away from this. In fact, might not even be 2 pips away. That's the high, the 15-minute before the window. Yeah, 2 pips away. We're now coming back down. We did mitigate into this. It touched in with the wick. Okay. I just want to see if we get a break above this, then we're certainly going to hit that. That's what I'll see. I'll see that. I'll go out on a limb and say that should be what will happen. But price needs to break the structure on this, on the liquidity double top, to get into this area. Okay, so we're coming towards the end. We're coming towards the end of what would have been the time allowance trading session. Like I say, the sweep of the 15-minute low, I think this has been what, in my opinion, going on my old method of the sweep and liquidity takes, that would have been the trade that I would have taken. The confirmation candles of an ICT silver bullet, for me at this moment in time, albeit, yes, 2 days ago, I was 3% down. It's just not working for me at the moment. But I'm going to persevere with it. Like I said, it's all about staying the journey, doing the process. And what I'm doing from there is, if I hadn't made that mistake 2 days ago, I would in essence maybe have only been a percent down. So let's just keep with the process and see what we'll keep journaling. This is the double top high. I am waiting for price to come out of here. I do believe we might get stuck in some sort of consolidated fears, because what we've done is we've broken above this imbalance area. So there's going to be some sort of consolidation before there's a reaction on price to the downside, or reaction on price to that upside. And as you can see on here, okay, even on this here, this pullback fears, okay, and you pull this out, it's all within this here as well, you know. So these sort of things, you train your eyes to see over time, to be fair. I mean, I've been trading for between 6 and 7 years, and it's only in the last few years where I've been able to adapt the eyes and the brain to these lower time frame sort of price action movements. It's just like filling a glass of water, to be fair. You're filling water from one glass into the other, and as you're filling the glass up, okay, it's how full it is, and it's what you leave behind. Like, I mean, like here, you've got a little bit of imbalance here as well. Okay, so we went from here to here, the wick to the wick, you can see how price has just touched back in, and there's still right about a pip of inefficiency there. Okay, I'm going to pause the video again, and then I'm going to cancel this off at the end of the time allowance, so just bear with me, guys. Right, guys, so the trading window has come to an end. I'm not going to record any further after that. We have the understanding that I was expecting price to possibly come up to the 15-minute high. It's feeling, it's double topped here. We're now getting an engulfing move out with the fair value gap here. Yeah, it looks like we might get a mitigation in to then pull further down, okay? So this was on, excuse me, on the 1 minute. I'm going to go up to the 5 minute just to see how things has been reacting from a bigger window. Okay, so we've had a higher high, a lower high, lower lower, lower high, lower lower. We've had a higher high here within the window. So this imbalance that's been broken, it looks like overall from a bigger time frame perspective, we've come down, up, made a lower high, a lower low, market structure shift. We might get a reaction from that, and then we could get a pull out. Okay, so looking on the price action here, we'll go to the higher time frame. There could be an entry position based upon that. Use that fair value gap and use that there. You could get a 1 to 4 on this. I might let this play. In fact, no, what we'll do is we'll do it from the structure from there. I might let this play. I'm going to stop the video and I'll do an update screenshot within the YouTube channel that I do. Okay, guys. Again, this is just a bias and an overview on something which is obviously the silver bullet. Something that for me personally, I'm going to be brutally honest with you here. Okay, ICT methods for me is a 50 to a 60% ratio. You see claims of 70s and 80 odds. It's not. It's not. I went through the process of doing these, and the numbers games are just not. But they are in your favor as such, and it is mindset over matter, to be fair. But the ICT stuff, it's so sort of overcomplicated and sort of drilled into basic of what, like the candle structure. It's basically within a, like, let's say the fair value gap stuff and liquidity, because that's all the markets are: liquidity take, liquidity create. And if I just share the screen one more time, so this is what I'm sort of looking at the minute. We've got a lower high, lower lower, lower high, lower lower, market structure shift, taking out all this imbalance here, creating a double top. So there's a liquidity take and create there. So we're going to come back into the flow of order to come into this. If I just get this to come into this area, okay, of imbalance, trigger, because we've now made a higher high. This would be a lower high because you're not structurally breaking this. And then we should get a shift and a markup into this. Okay, so that's it for the video today. I'll do a catch up or a how this screenshot goes, and I'll load it into the comments of the YouTube channel. Okay, guys, again, I'm not here to be perfect. There's too many things out there, false people. There's too many bullshit things out there that are going to say, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. For over 6 years, I've just liked and I have loved being able to put my journey out there, whether I win, whether I lose, or whether I draw. I have my core values on honesty, value, and integrity. Okay, so you get what you get with me. If you like me, you stay tuned and you plug in. If you don't, then again, you can sort of, like I say, unsubscribe from the channel. I'm not here to bullshit the process of trading. Trading is hard. Trading is going to test your patience. Trading will test your mindset, okay? And it's about persevering on that journey, and you'll get out the other side. After you've built your confidence, you get your consistency, you get those two joined together, your profitability will always follow, okay? I'll see you all a bit later, guys.